Rob, do you want to go ahead and announce the meeting?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear you turn on the recording in progress. I was waiting for that.
Thank
Sorry.
you so much. Nope, I will do that. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
There we go. All right, it's 1:30 on November 7th. I want to welcome everybody to the Board of Adjustments meeting. We'll start out with the determination of quorum. Can we get a determination of quorum, please?
Rob Pierce,
Present?
Don Christensen,
Yeah, present.
thank you. Kathy Julian,
Present.
Leo Harishni,
Present.
and Peter Gashon will be absent. However, we have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. Does anybody have a flag we can see so we can, or go back to chambers so we can do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. All righty, there we are.
There we go. All right, I'll go ahead and lead. We pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag
of the United
of the United
States
States of America.
to the republic
For which it
It
stands,
stands
one nation
one nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
and
and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you. All right, can we have the ethics law announcement, please?
Thank you. Board members are reminded that if with respect to any matter or any person coming before the board today, you have received a gift or a loan, you have a pecuniary interest, you have a commitment in a private capacity, such as a family, employment, business, or similar relationship, or you provided representation or counseling before an agency to a person or entity for compensation within the last year on a matter being considered, you're required to disclose that gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation at the time the matter is being considered. You must furthermore abstain from deliberation or voting on the matter if it's clear that the gift, loan, interest, commitment, or prior representation would materially affect the independence of judgment of a reasonable person. Board members are also reminded that under the Board of Adjustment rules, if you've had any contact outside this meeting with any person interested in a matter coming before the board today, you should disclose the nature of that contact at this meeting. This meeting is being held in a hybrid format. This meeting is located at the County Commission chambers and via Zoom. To attend the meeting via Zoom, log into the Zoom webinar using the link found on the agenda. You can also join by typing zoom.us into your browser, clicking join a meeting on the website and entering meeting ID 872-1567-5749. Alternatively, the meeting can be joined via telephone only by dialing 1-669-900-9128 and entering the meeting ID 872-1567-5749 and pressing pound. For anyone wishing to make public comment via Zoom, log into the Zoom webinar and utilize the raise hand feature during any public comment period. To provide public comment via telephone, press *9 to raise hand and *6 to mute and unmute.
Wonderful, thank you. Can we get the appeal procedure, please, Mr. Lloyd?
Most decisions rendered by the Board of Adjustment are appealable to the Board of County Commissioners. If you disagree with the decision of the Board of Adjustment and qualify as an aggrieved person or party, you may appeal in writing within 10 calendar days from the date that the decision being appealed is reduced to writing, filed with the Secretary of the Board of Adjustment, and mailed to the original applicant in the proceeding being appealed in accordance with Washoe County Code. Please call the planning staff immediately at 328-3610 for information on the appeal procedure and the application fee.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up general public comment. Do we have any general public comment?
There is no public comment in chambers and no hands raised via Zoom.
Okay, we'll close public comment and we'll look at the approval of today's agenda, November 7th. We don't have any changes that I'm aware of. Can we get a motion to accept as written?
For the record, Don Christensen, I move that we accept today's agenda as written.
All right, and I'll second it. So Rob, for the record, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Okay, that moves us on to item number 7, the approval of the October 3rd draft minutes. I do have one change on that, and that would be item number 2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Chair Thomas hasn't been here in quite a while, so he did not lead the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't, I don't remember who we had do that. Do you guys remember?
Recording
Yes.
Secretary Adriana Albron here. I don't remember, but I'll look back on the video and I'll correct that.
Okay, thank you. That was the only, thing that I saw. Did anybody else see anything, or is everybody okay with it?
I'm okay.
Can we get a motion to
okay.
accept with that minor, change, please?
I move that the draft meeting minutes from October 3rd be moved as approved with the correction.
And
All right,
members,
any-
please, because we're on this recording Secretary Adriana, because we're on Zoom, please remember to state your names in case the
Yes.
camera doesn't switch quickly enough to capture your image.
Understood. Leo Harishny, for the record, I move that the draft meeting minutes from October of 2024 be approved as suggested with the correction.
All right, and,
And for the record, I second.
okay, good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. All right, that moves us on to public hearing. First item is variance case number WPVAR 24-0009 for the Monet variance. Mr. Roy, would you please announce that?
I do. All right, for hearing, discussion, and possible action, approve the variance to reduce the front yard setback 15 feet to 4.5 feet, to 4 feet 6 inches, and reduce the side yard setback from 8 feet to 5 feet to construct a living space addition under an existing parking deck. And representing Washoe County in this matter is planner Julie Olander.
Good
Right.
afternoon. Does everybody have the screen up? Is that work? Oops.
It's a little small. I don't know if we can make it any bigger.
Let me see if I can get rid of is it showing as a slideshow? Or is that?
There you go.
Yeah, with all the stuff at the top.
Tell me if that's better.
That's the same. There, that's a little bit different.
That's a lot better.
So it doesn't have anything on the side?
It shows your picture along with the request on the right-hand side.
Let me go back. I'm going to stop sharing and try it one more time. Oh my gosh.
Now we lost it.
Yep, I know.
COVID, we're all a little rusty with the Zoom presentation.
Well,
I know it's been
yeah.
a while, right?
I haven't had this problem though recently. I feel like I've done this and I haven't. Let me try one more time. Apologize. Can't get rid of that side thing. How does it look now?
You're not sharing your screen, Julie, but if you want, we'll share it on our end and you can just let us know next slide. Do you want to do that?
Let me try one more. Okay. That's fine.
No worries.
It's coming up like I have, it seems to be confused with how many screens I have up on my monitors.
There we go. Now we can see it.
Yeah. All right. You want to advance? So this is a request for to reduce the front yard setback from 15 feet to 4 feet and 6 inches And then also to reduce the northeast side yard, and I just want to confirm that this is the northeast. It was noticed incorrectly, from 8 feet to 5 feet, and to construct a living space addition. Next slide. Here's here you are seeing the on the left-hand side, sort of a close-up of the lot, and then on the right hand you see it from farther distance. Next slide. And this is the basic layout of the property. The left-hand side is where you can see the garage, and that's where the proposal variance is going to happen. Next slide. So here you can see the variance fairly clearly. The blue is the side yard, and the red is the front yard. Next slide. Here's sort of the elevation showing what they're proposing to do. The bottom slide, the east side, shows the best vision of it. So you can see where the parking deck is that goes into the garage. And then underneath, they're proposing to enclose that area under the parking deck for storage. So you can both see on the east and the west elevation how it's going to look from the side. And then the north elevation is sort of from the other direction, from the northwest elevation. Next slide. And here you can see some floor plans showing it. And so right now on the left hand, you have just the mid-level. So that's how it's going to look. And then when you see on the right hand, you can see where they're having the storage area. Next slide. And here's, they're building the deck right now. They haven't enclosed that area below, but it is being set up in the sense that it's available, but it hasn't been enclosed. So it's still not considered a structure. And what you're seeing there is just to support the parking deck. Next slide. So as I said, the variance is for a parcel that's approximately 7,000 square feet. I mean, that with a parcel that has 7,000 square feet residence and a approximately 700 square foot garage. And the applicant's requesting to enclose that area under the parking deck, which is approximately 382 square feet. The parking deck does not meet the structure definition because it doesn't have walls. However, when they finish, if the variance is approved, then they can complete and enclose that area under the deck as a structure. Next slide. The approval of the variance is limited to certain circumstances, and NRS outlines those items. And they are as shows on 1, 2, and 3. 1 is exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape specific piece of property, or by reason of exceptional topography, or other extraordinary and exceptional situations. Next slide. So the applicant is indicating that this parcel is not exceptionally shallow or shaped unusually. However, it is narrow from the street, and it does have topography issues. It's got more than 20% slope, and then the property width of it is 45 feet, and per the standards, it should be 60 feet. Next slide. And then under extraordinary and exceptional situations, the applicant contends that there is those situations because of the slope and the narrowness of the property, and staff can make the findings as the applicant has demonstrated. Next slide. 31 parcels were noticed. I didn't receive any phone calls. I did receive some emails asking about the location of the variance and what the construction that was going on at the site. I did go visit the site and talk to the contractor. He indicated that they are not enclosing that area at this time, and they will only do that if the variance is approved. And no neighborhood meeting was required for this application. Next slide. Various agencies reviewed the application, and their comments are included in the staff report in Exhibit A, and agencies with conditions are included in the conditions of approval. Next slide. Staff was able to make all the findings, special circumstances, no detriment, no special privilege, and use is authorized. Next slide. And I provide a possible motion. The applicant's representative should be available on Zoom also, and I don't know if he doesn't have a presentation, but I believe he's available for any questions, as am I. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, if the applicant would like to make a presentation, that would be a good time.
I'm not
I
seeing
don't
any hand.
think,
Oh, here we are.
I don't think they have a presentation. They're just available for questions.
Okay. All right. Okay, at this time, let's open up public comment. Do we have any public comment on this matter?
And Rob, the applicant does have their hands raised. Alec
Oh,
Batro, if you
okay.
could please unmute and state your first and last name for the record.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Alec Bartro. I don't have a presentation, but I did just want to say, we appreciate the staff report provided by Julia, and we accept all those conditions.
All right, thank you. Let's open up public comment. Do we have any public comment on this matter?
No public comment in chambers or Zoom.
All right, we'll bring it back to the board then. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant or for the planner, or do we want to discuss anything?
Leo Harishny for the record. We went up to see the location yesterday, and I don't have any issues.
Okay. All right, if nobody's got any issues, and no questions. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Kath.
I guess I just have one query. I'm appreciative that this addition will not block anybody's view or quality of the houses on that court. Where does TRPA and coverage issues fit into this, or do they? Do they apply at all, the land coverage issues? Perhaps Mr. Lloyd could address that.
Yeah, and through the chair, thank you, Board Member Julian, for the question. All of these permits, when the building permit goes forward, it does require approval through TRPA, and that's clearly under the purview of TRPA. They will ensure that there's adequate coverage to meet the needs of the applicant.
Great, thank you.
All right, anybody else got anything? All right, I'll open the floor up for a motion. Does somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Find it here. All right. I'm trying to look for the motion. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during the public hearing, the Washoe County Board of Adjustment approve variance case number WP VAR 24-0009 for the Monet Family Trust, with the conditions of approval included as Exhibit A for this matter, having made all 4 required findings in accordance with the Washoe County Development Code Section 110.804.25, special circumstances, no detriment, no special privileges, use authorized, and effect on a military installation.
All right, do we have a second?
For the record, Don Christensen, I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That brings us on to 8B, which is the Minogue Extension Special Use Permit Case Number WSUP 24-0001 for the Minogue Expansion. Mr. Lloyd, can you please announce that one?
Yeah, for hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve a special use permit for the expansion of a 140,000 square foot school by 162,000 square feet by adding additional classrooms, cafeteria, theater, and common areas. The school is currently sized to accommodate 800 students, and with the expansion proposed, it is supposed to occur in a phased approach. The school will be able to accommodate a maximum of 1,200 students. The phasing of the project will occur over a 10-year period with final project completion in 2036. The first phase will consist of a cafeteria and a parking lot. The second phase will consist of a weight room and gymnasium. The third phase will consist of a STEM building, and the fourth phase will consist of a performing arts theater. Grading for the project will consist of 20,000 cubic yards of material being excavated and 280,000 square feet of area being disturbed and 18,000 cubic yards of material being exported. Representing Washoe County in this matter is Planner Tim Evans.
Thank you. Mr. Evans, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'll share my screen real quick. All right, so everyone can see that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Get a little bit larger. There we go. All right. Tim Evans, planner. So the case before you today is special use permit case number WSUP 24-001 for the Minogue expansion. So the subject property is located at 110 Bishop Minogue Drive, and it has APM 162-01028. And there on the right side of the screen, you can see the highlighted parcel. So the subject property is just over 48 acres, and the parcels surrounding it are similarly developed with commercial uses as well as residential along the west side of the property and to the south. And so this property is located within the Southwest Truckee Meadows planning area, and it is also zoned medium density suburban. So the request before you today is a special use permit to expand the school that is currently existing in compliance with Washoe County Code Section 110-302.05. And so on the screen there, it shows a large scale view of the property and the proposed expansion. And here is a small scale view of the site plan that was submitted with the special use permit application that shows the proposed expansion, which includes the large parking area as well as some additional classrooms totaling approximately another 130,000 square feet or so of building area. And so this is a rendering of what it may look like looking southwest. And here's another rendering of the proposed expansion of what it would look like from the northeast. And so as far as the proposed expansion goes, like I mentioned earlier, the existing school is 140,000 square feet, and they plan to expand up to a maximum of 302,000 square feet to accommodate 1,200 students total. There was a special use permit that was approved in 1997 for the proposed or the school use, the original school use, and the school was opened in 2004 and was originally designed to accommodate 800 students. The proposed expansion is proposed to be done in 4 different phases, with construction being completed by 2036. As far as height goes in relation to the proposed expansion, the tallest building will be approximately 48 feet, which is in compliance with Washoe County Code. And the proposed expansion is in compliance with all required setbacks. And a landscaping plan for the proposed expansion was submitted with the application, and staff reviewed all of the entire proposal, and it's in compliance with Article 412 landscaping. That being said, there is a condition, specifically condition of approval 1L, that staff recommended that in speaking with the applicant, that they wanted to see some additional language to allow for a little bit of flexibility as far as the submission of the landscape plan for the building permit. And there on the screen, you can see the area that changed in that condition is just the language that says showing how overall the project will meet applicable requirements with the landscape plan, as opposed to the way the condition read to an extent was as if a landscape plan could be submitted with each phase that showed just the landscaping for each of those phases. So this just gives them flexibility to submit a landscape plan that addresses the entire project at once. And so the proposed parking that is for the expansion as well as the existing school is in compliance with Article 410 as far as the number of spaces and the sizing and maneuvering aisles. Everything is in compliance with Article 410 parking and loading. A description of the proposed lighting was provided for the subject project. Then there is a condition of approval that serves to address ensuring no light spillover onto adjoining residential parcels or commercial parcels, and that the lighting height is no greater than 12 feet. And there's also a condition of approval in relation to glare, since there will be large windows as part of this expansion. So there is a condition of approval to address glare from windows and things like that, and to incorporate window tinting or similar type of non-reflective materials. As part of this project as well is a decent amount of grading, a total of approximately 9,200 cubic yards of cut, 7,100 of fill, and 2,000 or so cubic yards of imported material. And Washoe County Engineering reviewed the entire project, and everything is in compliance with Article 438 grading. And so one of the issues that came up during the analysis of this project and this special use permit was traffic. One of the things that was provided was an in-depth traffic analysis in relation to the impacts and things that the additional students may have from driving and things like that. So Washoe County Engineering reviewed, as well as the Nevada Department of Transportation, NDOT, and the Regional Transportation Commission and the City of Reno. And a condition of approval serves to address the comments from engineering and NDOT in relation to that traffic impact analysis. And so this project was sent out to 25 agencies for review, including the City of Reno, and 6 agencies provided conditions, which are included as Exhibit A to the staff report. Proper noticing occurred for this project, and a total of 148 parcels were noticed, and 1 public comment was received. And that 1 public comment that was received was sent out, I believe it was on Monday, November 4th, that staff received recently. So what the comment was in relation to is just a general inquiry of the project itself, as well as just stating that they support the project and the expansion of the school. And so staff is able to make all 5 required findings as detailed on pages 15 and 16 in the staff report. And staff recommends the Board of Adjustment approve special use permit case number WSUP 24-001 and provides the motion on the screen. And I would like to point out that the motion that is on the screen is slightly different than that in the staff report, and that the language that has been added is including amended condition 1L. So it's just that one little phrase right there that was changed in relation to the conversation that staff had with the applicant. And I'm available for any questions, and I believe the applicant does not have a presentation, but they are available for questions as well.
Okay. Does the applicant want to say anything, or do we just want to move on? Just give him or her that option.
Yeah. Hi, this is Eric Hasty with Wood Rogers, and I just want to say, we're representing the applicant. Mike Quillisi from Bishop Minogue is also on the Zoom call. We also have our engineer and our traffic engineer. I'm available for any questions if you guys have those, but I think Tim did a great job on the presentation. It covers everything, and we are in agreement with the staff report as well as the amendment to that condition. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, thank you. Okay, at this time, let's open up public comment. Do we have any public comment on the matter?
No public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
All right, well, then we'll close public comment, bring it back to the board for questions and comments, discussion, anything you guys have. Go ahead.
Kathy Jillian for the record. Just one request that the same language put into the other 2 applications regarding startup of equipment before 7 a.m. be included in this condition. I believe that's condition 1G. the standard language. And I reference this because I believe when we have when the public has information about when construction should begin, it should be precise, and it's always good to have that in a public document that they can access. So I believe Julie Olander put it into her report, so if it could be carried through here, I'd appreciate that. But otherwise, I have no problem with this application.
Okay. Trevor, didn't we put that in the code or something? Isn't that a standard now?
We did, and we do apologize. That is standard language in our conditions, and this one, yes, we will make sure that that language is included in this set of conditions as well.
Okay.
Right, and Kathy, Julian, for the record, my point is that when you have something on the website, you have this record of conditions that is easily accessible. It's better to have it referenced there rather than, oh, I'm going to look up the code and see what it says specifically. So that's why I'm making this point. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Anybody else have anything?
For the record, Don Christensen, a minor detail in the application, our page 45, section 10, talks about community services that are available. And I highlight, talks about fire stations and schools and things. Letter D, middle school, and it references Piccolo Middle School at 0.64 miles from the operation. A minor point, Piccolo is not a middle school. It's a handicapped special ed facility. So not that it makes a lot of difference. I don't know what the closest middle school is, but I think the application should reflect that Piccolo is not the neighborhood middle school.
All right. Anybody else have anything? All right, I got a question, and Tim, I don't know, maybe you can help me understand this. I was reading the report, and on page 13, down at the bottom, it was talking about the traffic impact. And I was just doing a little math, and I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong. But the way that I calculate the vehicles going in and the vehicles going out, I have a discrepancy of 358 vehicles being left on-prem. And so I was hoping maybe you could help me with my math here. Maybe I'm not understanding it correctly.
Yeah, let me pull up Tim Evans planner. So let me pull up that staff report real quick in that page real quick.
So I was referring to
Okay, so you said
yeah,
on page 13.
page 13, yes. Talking about the new trips generated by the proposed project, estimated using current rates from the AM and afternoon peak hour traffic counts. It said it currently generates 913 AM peak hour trips. That's 590 inbound and 341 outbound. 716 afternoon peak trips, 350 inbound and 366 outbound. Under the typical traffic demand, with the project, the site is estimated to increase by 5:01 a.m. peak trips. That's 318 inbound and 184 outbound, and 386 afternoon peak trips. That's 188 inbound and 197 outbound. Well, if you add up the inbound and the outbounds, I see a discrepancy of 358. Like I said, I think I'm doing something wrong, but maybe you can clarify that for me.
Yeah, let's see here. Sorry, Mr. Chair, I do believe the applicants have their traffic engineer who is available that can also address this issue if need be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe somebody can explain this to me.
That's correct. We have Pranesh. This is Eric Hasty with Wood Rogers. We have Pranesh, who is the traffic engineer on this, and he would probably be the best person to address this question if he's available.
Good afternoon. This is Pranesh with Wood Rogers. I worked on the traffic study, and yeah, so the inbound and outbound total, it's for AM peak hour and PM peak hour. So the net total is what is shown there for AM peak, which is 318 plus 184 would be 5. There is a rounding there, but it's 502. And then in the afternoon peak hour, inbound is 188, outbound is 197. So that would add up to 386. So it's two different peak hours.
Okay. What about the remaining vehicles that were still in there? So they go in, but they don't come out. So where are those vehicles? That's what I was kind of questioning.
Yeah. So on an overall daily basis, that you're right. It usually whatever goes in, all of them come out. But the peak hour, let's say we are saying 7 to 8 a.m. peak hour. When you do the counts, it's not necessarily all the vehicles that go in within that hour would come out during the same hour. There will be some differences in inbound and outbound when you take that within that hour. So that's what is reflected there from the counts.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions or anything? All right, if we don't have any, then I'll entertain a motion. Can we get that motion put back up on the screen? There you go. Thank you.
Leo Harishny for the record. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during this public hearing, the Washoe County Board of Adjustment approve with conditions, including amended condition 1L, special use permit case number WSUP 24-0001 for Bishop Manogue Catholic High School, with the conditions included as Exhibit A to this matter, having made all 5 findings in accordance with Washoe County Code Section 110.810.30, consistency, improvements, site suitability, issuance not detrimental, and if any effect on military installations.
All right, do we have a second?
Oh, before you second, was that also with the addition to the correction to condition 1G as referenced by board member Julian? It was the hours of operation, basically.
Okay, I thought you were just going to add that, but yeah, go ahead, modify it.
I'm just asking, would the maker of the motion like to include the correction to condition 1G?
Leo Harishny for the record, I can do that. I need to see the motion again. Oh, where did the motion go? There we go. Okay, Leo Harishny for the record. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during this public hearing, the Washoe County Board of Adjustment approved with conditions, including condition 1G and amended condition 1L, the special use permit case number WSUP 24-0001 for Bishop Manogue Catholic High School with the conditions, both conditions included as Exhibit A to this matter, having made all 5 findings in accordance with the Washoe County Code Section 110.810.30.
All right, do we have a second?
Kathy Gilliam for the record, I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. That moves us on to 8C, special use permit case number WSUP 24-0013 for the Geeden Teal residence. Mr. Lloyd, please announce.
Okay, for hearing, discussion, and possible action to approve a special use permit for the construction of a 2,267 square foot single family dwelling with a 2-car garage. The existing single family dwelling, which was constructed in 1946, is proposed to be demolished under building permit WBLD 24-103398 issued on August 6th, 2024 in order to construct the proposed single family dwelling. Representing Washoe County once again in this matter is planner Tim Evans.
All right, Tim, floor is yours.
Thank you. All right. Tim Evans, planner. So the case before you today is special use permit case number WSUP 24-0013 for the Geeden Teal single family dwelling. So the subject property is located on Tuscarora Road and has APN 123-15508. So on the right side of the screen there, you can see the subject property is highlighted in blue. And then the whitish grayish colored line on the left or the west side of that picture there is the California-Nevada state line. And then to the right, the bluish colored area is Lake Tahoe itself. And so the picture on the top left of the screen is a viewpoint looking north at the property, and the property itself that is subject to the special use permit would be on the left side of that upper left picture. And as you can see, the topography in this area is fairly steep. And then the bottom bottom left picture, that is a picture of the same street, just completely flipped 180 degrees, looking at down the street to the south. So the subject property is 0.382 acres, and it is similarly developed, will be similarly developed compared to those in the surrounding area with single-family dwellings and accessory structures. This property is located within the Tahoe planning area, and it is zone Crystal Bay. So the request before you today is a special use permit for a single-family dwelling pursuant to Washoe County Code 110-220.245. It's a special use permit requirement specifically for the Crystal Bay regulatory zone. And so Washoe County Code 110-220.250 sets forth special policies that must be looked at with the special use permit in the Crystal Bay regulatory zone. And it is due to the environmental sensitivity of the area, limited emergency access, and geologic hazards, as well as public safety issues. So those items right that I just mentioned, that is the whole reason for looking at or having the special use permit requirement. And so on the screen, this is a portion of the site plan that was submitted. And I would like to point out that there are 2 site plans that were submitted with this application. One shows the existing residence, which I'll discuss in a little bit later in the presentation. And the other one is the proposed residence. And the one on the screen right now shows the proposed residence for the special use permit. So the existing dwelling on the property was built in 1946 and will be demolished. A building permit to demolish the dwelling, or demolition permit, has been applied for, as far as I'm aware, in speaking with the contractor for the project. And so the proposed single-family dwelling will be 2,267 square feet and also includes a 2-car garage. And the height, which is something that TRPA reviews, but the height of the proposed structure is just shy of about 31 feet, and it is in compliance with code requirements. And so the required setbacks for the Crystal Bay regulatory zone in this specific size parcel is 20 feet in the front and 8 feet on the sides and rear, or excuse me, 20 feet on the front and rear and 8 feet on the sides. So the proposed dwelling meets the rear setback and the side setbacks. It does not meet the front setback. And this is something that just came to light to me about an hour and a half ago or so in speaking with the contractor. He mentioned to me that the site plan that was submitted, it shows a setback line and it goes to the edge of the structure, but there is a small portion of the front of the porch area that actually encroaches into the 20-foot setback. That being said, due to the topography of this parcel, it does have the ability to apply for an administrative review permit to reduce the setback down to what they're proposing. So there is a condition of approval that is being recommended by staff. And I'll read it aloud. So prior to the issuance of a building permit for the subject dwelling, an administrative review permit, Washoe County Code Section 110-220.60 is the county code section that allows this, shall be applied for and issued to allow the reduction in the front yard setback. And so the amount that's being reduced is in the neighborhood of about 3 feet or so, per the conversation I had with the contractor earlier today. And so staff is recommending that condition of approval be added to the recommended conditions. And another condition of approval set forth in Exhibit A is staff is recommending that it be amended, and it should be amended to read as follows. And it's in relation to the hours of for construction. And so it would just add the language at the very end of the condition there, which is highlighted in yellow and in bold, which states any construction machinery activity or any noise associated with the construction activity are also limited to these hours. So that would just be added, and it's just standard language that we're going to be adding from here on out to each one of those conditions for special use permits and other discretionary projects. So it's just standard language. All right, so pursuant to Washoe County Code Section 110-220.125, it sets forth 4 different natural hazards that we have to look at as part of this special use permit. So one is flood, the second is seismic, the third is avalanche, and the fourth is wildfire. And so staff sent it out for review to multiple departments and agencies, and no concerns in relation to any one of those items came up. And staff took a look at various maps and things like that, specifically from the North Lake Tahoe Fire Protection District, from their website, in relation to avalanche hazards, as well as within the potential natural hazards map from that Washoe County planning has on record. And looking at all those items, the subject property is not located within an avalanche hazard zone. It's just outside of it, as you can see on both of those maps shown on the screen. And so because the property is not located within an avalanche hazard area, no geotechnical study is required, as stated in the specific Washoe County Code section in relation to avalanches for this area. And so Washoe County Code Section 110-220.250 sets forth the special, states that the following special policies will be implemented in the Crystal Bay Regulatory Zone. So in relation to subsection A, public safety issues, everything was sent out for review, and the public safety issues, as mentioned earlier, were avalanche, fire, seismic activity, flood, and limited emergency access. No concerns were provided or revealed during the analysis of the project and as a result of staff's review. And the second item is in relation to encroachment permits onto Highway 28. This property is served by Tuscarora Road and is not going to be connecting to Highway 28, so that is not an issue there. And then due to the third item, subsection C, is due to the sensitivity of the area and public safety issues, all further development will be considered a special use. So public safety issues, as mentioned earlier, that were reviewed were avalanche, fire, seismic, flood, and limited emergency access. And no concerns were revealed during the review of this project. And then the last item is in relation to avalanche hazards. And as showed on the previous slide, this property is not within an avalanche hazard zone, and so no geotechnical study is required for this project. So as mentioned earlier, this project was sent out for review to multiple departments and agencies for review, specifically 16 agencies, including North Lake Tahoe Fire Protection District. And two of those agencies provided comments. Engineering and Incline Village General Improvement District provided conditions, and those are included as conditions in Exhibit A of the staff report. And specifically to give a summary of what those conditions were in relation to. The first one, or the condition from engineering, was in relation to the construction drawings addressing grading. And the condition from Incline Village General Improvement District was in relation to complying with water and wastewater regulations of Incline Village General Improvement District. So the proposed project was noticed, and it was sent to 37 different parcels. And one public comment was received in relation to the project. And it was, I believe it was sent out on Monday to all the members of the board. And so the comment was in relation to, in opposition to having accessory dwelling units and things like that. This project is not an accessory dwelling unit. It's just specifically to construct a dwelling unit itself. So staff is able to make all 5 required findings as detailed on pages 10 and 11 in the staff report. And staff recommends the Board of Adjustment approve special use permit case number WSUP 24-0013 and provides the motion on the screen. And like that of the last case, the language has been amended for this specific project. And the portion that's been amended is the phrase including amended condition 1E and the addition of condition 1F. So the amended condition 1E is just in relation to noise, and the addition of condition 1F is just the requirement of having that administrative review permit to allow the reduction in the setback for the front. And I am available for any questions, and I believe the contractor said he was going to join the Zoom meeting as well, but I'm not sure if he was able to actually join because I didn't see him in the chat or in the list. So
Okay. Well, if he's here and he would like to make a comment or a presentation, that would be a good time.
This is Dale Smith. I'm an architect in Incline Village, and I'm representing the owner, Bradley Gedden and Michelle Teal. And we have reviewed the staff report. We've reviewed the conditions. We accept the conditions, and I urge you to approve the special use permit. I'm available for any questions.
Great, thank you. All right, at this time, let's open up public comment. Do we have any public comment on this matter?
No public comment in chambers or via Zoom.
All right, well then we'll close public comment and bring it back to the board. Anybody have any questions or comments? I don't see any hand raised and nobody speaking up. Okay, so somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right.
Do you want to put the motion up there?
You want to, yeah, put the motion back up there, please.
I move that after giving, can't read that fast.
1 second.
There you go. That's
Kathy Julian for the record. I move that after giving reasoned consideration to the information contained in the staff report and information received during the public hearing, the Washoe County Board of Adjustment approve with conditions, including amended condition 1E and the addition of condition 1F, special use permit case number WSUP 24-00010013 for Bradley Gedden and Michelle Till, with the conditions included as Exhibit A to this matter, having made all 5 findings in accordance with the Washoe County Code Section 110.810.30.
Okay, this is Rob. I'll second it. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Thanks, Tim.
You.
All right, that brings us on to item number 9, chair and board items. Anybody have any future agenda items they'd like to bring up? All right, request for information from staff. Does anybody have anything? All right, moving on to 10, report on previous Board of Adjustment items.
Nothing to report.
All right, anything from legal?
No, sir.
All right, let's open up the last public comment. Do we have any general public comment?
No general public comment on Zoom or in chambers.
All right, it's 2:27. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks
Have a
all.
good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep.